Hello, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing the organization that I use when I'm traveling. My husband and I took a quick trip last weekend, and I knew that if I have any spare time, downtime, which we usually do, I like to get out some supplies and get into my journals, and I usually try to make a special journal for that trip. And so I'm going to go ahead and show that to you. This is a journal that I put together. I think, yeah, it's upside down. I put this together. It was just sitting around, and so I had something I could grab and go with. I made it out of a file folder that I picked up at a thrift store. Can't call it vintage because I'm pretty sure it's probably not, but it is kind of a cool red color. I kind of liked that it looked a little bit vintage. I'm sure I could vintage it up with some inks and different things, and I may do that, but it was just kind of nice to have something on hand that I could grab and use for this project. Another thing that I used for this project is I have a lot of things that I've made watching other channels, so many wonderful, inspirational people out there. And sometimes I'll just sit and make a whole bunch of stuff. And I've got some stuff on hand. And that was really convenient because I wasn't sure how this whole thing was going to work out for this kind of a short, not a short, it was a long weekend, a short week, a long weekend. But yeah, so I'll do a flip through of this after I go through my little case here. I'm going to be putting a link in the description for one that's similar to this that you can pick up on Amazon if that's something that you want to do. This one I picked up at Marshall's, and I paid more than I thought that I should, but I guess these things kind of run a little bit expensive. So the first pocket is, let's see, yeah, there you go. The first pocket is all these little, it's these compartments, and then this area up at the top that I put kind of the longer things like the ruler, scissors, a pen. And this is just a little baggie that I threw some paper clips, laces, toppers. I didn't know what I was going to be doing, so I just wanted to have a little bit of a selection of those. Some inks and my little ink dauber. These are Tim Holtz, as you can see, and then these were some inexpensive ones I picked up at Daiso. A generic kind of neutral baker's twine right here, some fussy cutting scissors, glue sticks, and these little gizmos that I use to hold pages down or items down when I'm gluing them. So this worked out beautifully. That's why I wanted to share this, is because I didn't forget anything. I guess I've done this often enough where I didn't forget anything. So I was really, really pleased with what I was able to bring. So this is packaging that I use in my shop. And there was a mistake that I made with these, so I covered it up with a little label. And so I reuse a lot. I know that these are not good for the environment. I'm the first one to admit that, but it's something that I purchased years ago for my shop. I still use them, and I use them for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out, and then, because they make kind of a really radical noise, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out. Okay, so in this pocket, in this one in the middle here, is where I put kind of my bigger packages, bigger pieces. So these are the bags that I have. These are some photos. This is just kind of a lot of miscellaneous pieces that I just threw in a bag. This right here is a bunch of labels. These are Louisa Heinzel, one of her videos. That was so much fun. This is all stickers and tape. I like having that kind of organization, because if I just throw it in with everything else, I'm like, I know I have tape, or I know I have, some stickers that I could use, or washi tape, or, it's kind of nice to have them all organized in one spot. And then a lot of the papers that I have, these are some tea-dyed papers that I knew that just in case I wanted to have a journaling tag, that kind of thing. So I clipped those with these little guys. And this, I think, I'm not sure what, I'm not always sure, like, what my organization in the beginning is. It never seems to make it home with the same kind of organization, but I think that this may have been a lot of digitals that I cut out. A bunch of butterflies that were already cut out. There's some in there that aren't cut out, but I do like to have my fussy cut. I don't always want a fussy cut on the road. It's kind of messy, so it's kind of nice to have that. Some more, here's just some paper, some digitals, and then some book pages and different things. This is Margaret from Seven Plaza, one of her digitals. Love it. I didn't use it, but, you know, I will someday. It's so beautiful. And then this one right here, this one right here is like cards that I could decorate for journaling cards. Maybe, you know, journaling spot, tags, envelopes, that kind of thing. And then these, I didn't know if I was going to use them or not, are just some generic masterboard pieces. And then this little guy right here, which is a lot smaller, is where I try to put some of the smaller items. Now, I didn't really check out the one that I recommended on Amazon to see how closely they match with this one, but I just thought I'd, you know, throw that in there just in case I get any questions of where did I get that. So postage stamps in a little glassine envelope. Some more envelopes and a little file folder, little, you know, things that you can use as tuck spots and you know, put journaling in. And then just kind of it kind of goes along with that, kind of a generic group there. Some tissue paper, which I actually used, so it was really good that I brought that. Some paper dolls from Tim Holtz. Just some labels, small labels in kind of the color scheme that I was working with this journal. And then just some more small bits. Small bits come in handy. So that top one that's a little bit smaller is where I put that sort of thing. So I'm going to clean up real quick and then I'll be right back. So this is something that I definitely always have to have with me. And it has extra glue sticks, pens, these pencils that have the little caps on it so they don't break. So you have those in case you need to make markings, and some Post-its. So this is another thing that I could put all this stuff in that carry-on or that little carrying case, but they have a tendency to just kind of get lost. You get too much stuff going in that thing. So what I want to share now a little is that on my trips, what I'll do is anything paper, I'm going to collect it. You know, cards, business cards. These are bags that the hotel we stayed in gave us a couple of gratis bags. And I was going to use them in my journal somehow, but we weren't there long enough for me to figure out what I was going to do. These were in the room. They're just little coasters, paper coasters. This is a napkin that I picked up from the reason why we were out of town was because of my daughter-in-law's baby shower. So this is from her baby shower. And then this little gizmo right here was, this is one of those things you put in your windshield, you know, to let them know that you are actually allowed to park in their parking spot. I mean, parking lot, yeah. So let me show you my journal a little bit more. Before I left, I took this page. Let me take this off real quick. Before I left, I took this page. I had this page that I'd taken out of a book already. And I just loved it. And I thought it was just the cute. I love putting a library card in the fronts of my journals. And I couldn't do that with this because of this pocket. So I put the whole page on there. And I'm just really loving how that turned out. Just so you know, I'm not done with this journal. I still have some stuff I want to do in it, but I wanted to do this video and show you kind of my process of packing, taking, and using my junk journals on the road. So this is a sticker that I bought when we went to a brewery, and Salish Sea Brewing Company. I did take my my dauber and kind of age it a little bit, but I really love the way that turned out. And then here is a bookstore that I went to and bought a new book for my granddaughter when she gets here, which is going to be any day now. And then these are just some things that I had, just extra little bits and pieces that I have. They kind of float around my art room, or I have them in containers, and they work perfectly on here. And this is one of those envelopes that I put together that I'm not sure I'm too terribly thrilled with because they bulk them up so much. Having one is fine. Having two is a lot. And just a little tag that I've had for years that I made out of a journal that I made years and years ago. Just some bits and bobs on there for decoration. Another, it's a coin envelope that I made years ago, and just kind of, this is what I did on my trip. You know, in the evening, I'd get out my supplies and I'd glue things in here. I'd try to figure out what I wanted to do. I'd do a little decorating. This is an envelope that I had in another journal that I tore out, and I made it a tuck spot. This is what, oh, you know what? I want to talk about this real quick. This is something that I made out of the, I bought a pair of pants for the trip, and I wanted to put I wanted to kind of reuse, like recycle into this journal too. And so this is a, you know, it says the size and the company, you know, the brand and all that kind of stuff. And I covered it in paper and made a hidden paper clip out of it. Now, there are lots of videos out there on how to make hidden paper clips. So if you want to know how to make something like this, the point of me showing this is me using up kind of something that is actually a memory and something that I'm probably going to journal about. I'll probably do something here, maybe use that as a tuck spot for the kind of the drama that I went through buying clothes for my trip. It wasn't too dramatic, but there's a backstory on it that I kind of want to document on here. So let me go back over here, because this right here is the little, this is the little envelope thing that they give you at the hotel that your key cards are in. And I wrote down the room and the date that I did that and what it is. And I just thought it was just fun to take some of these paper bits that you get along, you know, you pick up along the way and kind of use it up. And I had already brought this tag, and there's some of the, I used 3 pieces of that tissue on this one, which was really fun to do. And then I just made this little tuck spot. It's kind of hard to get in there, so I'm just going to kind of skip that. Covered that. What is this? Oh, this is something that I made watching Shabby Dabby Doodah. This was one of her projects. A little decorating. One of my favorite tags that I made from Louisa Heinzel. And then just a little tuck spot. Some journaling on the back of that. Did I do anything in here? Yeah. Oh, this is funny. Okay. So this is one of the coasters, and I did a little journaling on the back. This didn't work out quite the way I was hoping it would, but I kind of made it work. I had used some of this. I bought a glass at the brewery, and I wanted to use this somehow, so I glued it onto one of the coasters, and it was just so blue. So I went ahead and I put a doily on top of that, and then I kind of hit it with some sandpaper, and then I already had this cut out and just kind of made this as a journaling spot. But where I had it was kind of hilarious. It kind of got lost, but we'll see if it'll work out in there. Like I said, this is a work in progress. We'll see what else I can do in here. This was just something I had from another journal that I decided I didn't, you know, it wasn't going in the direction I was kind of hoping it would. So found a home for that. Okay, this was in the bathroom. They have little things they give you, soaps and shampoos and all that kind of stuff. This had a shower cap in it, and it's paper. So I decided I was going to decorate it up and use it for my journal. And this is a little cluster that I made from some of the Louisa Heinzel tags. Another pocket here that I've had for a long time. It finally has a home. So happy about that. Let me tell you. So this right here, one of the nights that we were in Edmonds in Washington, we went to a restaurant called Arnie's. And this is some art they have, and then there's the ferry. So this is the view from the restaurant. And there's some journaling on the back of that. So I don't necessarily have to share that. But I love the way that turned out. I'm just so happy with the way that turned out. Okay, let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, just some regular kind of whatnots and just something I kind of played around with, and it has a little bit of This was made out of parchment paper that I had coffee dyed, and then I put a little doily on there and some journaling. Just a decorated page. This was my word of, I think, 2022 or 23, I'm not sure. And I didn't want to throw it away, so I decided to make it into a tuck spot. And this is an envelope. This is kind of funny. We purchased, because we just had we had siding put on the outside of our house. And we wanted to buy it looks nice. So we wanted to buy something with our address on it that was pretty. And they sent us a thank you note. And I thought that was just, I don't know, you just don't get thank you notes from places anymore. And I just thought, that is just so funny. I love it. So I kept it. Just a little memory. I don't know what I'll do with it. I'll probably put some journaling in it. And then just some, I didn't get very far with this. Just a little piece of whatnot. And then this was kind of fun. So we stayed at the Best Western, and this was one of the pads that they have on their desks. And I tore the bottom that had the logo on it off, and then I put a sticker. I had this sticker, and I just put a piece of tape on there to hold everything together. And yeah, I thought it came out kind of cute. So I don't know if I'll use it, but it was just kind of fun to have another little memory of our trip. So let me show you kind of one of my favorite things I did with this project. So while we were on our trip, I took lots of pictures, and I thought this is a view from the restaurant that we were eating at. And I just thought that was so pretty with the clouds in the background and this cute little boat right here. And on our way home, where our car was parked, there was a tree right in front of us that had just like lots of moss on it. We were up in the mountains, and it was just covered in moss, and I thought it was so cool looking. I put this in a tea bath, and it kind of, I don't know, kind of wrinkled it, but I thought it looked kind of artsy. I liked it. So when I'm on my trips, I like to take a lot of pictures of the people that I'm, relating to, but I also like to take just kind of random pictures. And this was a they call it a safety ring, or a, what do they call these things again? What do they call it? Oh, yeah, a life ring. Yeah. But it looks like it's Asian. I don't know what writing that is, but I just thought it looked so cool. So I took a picture of that. And what I did is I went around the edges. I edited it to where it was brighter, because if you up your saturation, you get kind of some brighter, more vivid colors on your photos. And I went around the edges with sandpaper. First I messed around with sandpaper, and then I went around it with some ink. And then on the back, I did these boxes with lines, and I put where we were and what we did, just kind of a little blurb of that day, and some stamps, some postage stamps and some stamping. And I made a postcard from our trip, but it's personalized, right? Okay, so here is another picture from the Salish Bay, Salish Sea Brewery. I always want to say Bay. This is a refrigerator, outside refrigerator that somebody painted a huge crab on. But you can see how I kind of aged it around the edges. This is a view from the restaurant. I went a little wild with the sandpaper on this one, but I really kind of like the way it turned out. I was just playing around. This is a picture of an estuary. I kind of went a little bit crazy with my sandpaper on this one also, because my printer was putting lines in all my pictures, and I was trying to hide it, and I don't know, came out okay. But I remember this day, I remember the conversation. I'm going to go ahead and put all the lines in the back here, put where we were, a little blurb of what we did. That was really fun. And then here's a picture of the Edmonds Ferry, and it's coming into port. And this is really a fun memory, not only because we used to live near here, but my father, when he visited, used to love to watch these ferries come in and out, he would just sit and have a crab cocktail and watch the ferries, and it's just kind of a fun memory from years ago. So I'll probably write something like that on the back of here and where we were and when. And yeah, just kind of a vintage looking postcard. And then this is the trip back. And this is at a rest stop. And I just loved, see the lines? Yeah, I cleaned my printer after this, and I think it may have helped, but still. But this is a not windmill, yeah, I guess it's windmills. Yeah, windmill farm. And then it's kind of up in the mountains, up in the hills. It's kind of deserty, and I just love the colors of the sky juxtaposed against this kind of muted desert look. So I'll be writing about that for our trip home. Yeah. So that I wanted to share with you because this was actually one of the most fun projects that I've done in a long, long time. Hi, future me here. I decided that I wanted to do a little bit of the decorating of the postcards in this video. And what I've done is I've tried a couple of things. This one I did in all pencil. And I really like the way that looks with the pencil and then writing with the pen, right? So on this one, I did all pen. And I don't really like the way that one came out. So I went back to pencil. Wait, hold on. Let me turn these. Make sure I did these right. So one of the things that I did on the first one was I didn't pay attention to the way I did these boxes. And so I kind of did a little fiddle around and fixed it. But I want to make sure that I have all of these going in the right direction. All right. Yes, I do. Okay, so I did the lines and squares with this Happy Planner template, which was a pain in the neck, just so you know. It would have been probably a lot easier for me to just get out a ruler, to be honest with you. Yeah, not a fan. It's because it's kind of flimsy, and maybe it's just this particular type. I might go ahead and look into getting one that's got thicker plastic. The reason why they make these so thin is so they can fit into your planner and you have access to it. So they don't want to make them too thick. But yeah, that didn't work out so much for me. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and do some of the stamping and put some postage stamps on. I'm thinking I probably will, before I did the stamps first. This one I did upside down. Not quite sure what I was thinking about that, but I guess it doesn't really matter. But put the stamps on, then do the stamping. And this is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to use the numbers, some of these numbers in different areas, just to kind of fill it in a little bit and kind of make it look a little bit more artsy. And then these right here are kind of my cancellation. And this is probably something from Hobby Lobby years and years ago. I've had this for such a long time that I don't even know where I got it. So I'm just going to guess Hobby Lobby. I've also had these stamps for well over 10 years. I've had these for a long, long time. So I can't tell you where I got those. But, you know, these are pretty abundant. I think they even have them at the at like Dollar General, or the dollar store even has these, I think. So I'm going to go grab my stamps. The reason why I decided to jump in and do this is because I want to start filling that journal up. I want to kind of get it done, because I'm really afraid if I procrastinate that I'll put it on a shelf and I'll give up on it, because I've done that before, and I don't want to do that this time. So I'm going to fast forward this part because it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a lot of stamping, and I'm going to be adding this to an existing video, and I don't want it to go too long. So I'm just going to get started, and I'll put some music on. Okay, so, yeah, the reason why I don't do a lot of stamping probably became abundantly clear on this video. I'm just really not gonna, I did this side up, upside down on purpose, just so you know, because it's a bit of an homage to my lack of stamping skills. So, you know, it's filled up, it looks good, filled, you know. When I do the writing, it probably will just kind of fill it out a little bit more, make it look a little bit more authentic, I guess you could say. I forgot that I'd purchased this from a stationery store, probably like Office Max or something. Little pricey. I think it was like $11 or something way back in the day. But I thought, you know, because I really wanted to put a date, and because this one was in a box like that. But then I remembered I had that, so I could probably just go ahead and put the date in this little posted stamp. And yeah, okay, I forgot a step. And I don't want to forget this step because to me this is kind of an important step. So I'm coming back in to talk about distressing. Now this is scorched timber. I think I want something a little lighter. Okay, I'm switching to walnut. I like walnut. This is pretty much my go-to. It just seems to finish it off, and I just didn't want to end this video without doing this last step, because it seems like this makes a big difference. And when, you know, as I was making these, I remembered that what I did with one of the steps with making these postcards that I forgot to mention is that I glued these photos onto coffee dyed paper. That's what the back of this is, and that's kind of an important step, because if you look at these, you're going to think that I did some really cool aging of my photos, which is what I tried to do with that mossy one that didn't work out. That was kind of the idea there of not having to put paper on the back of my photos. Only because I was trying to save a step, but it really wasn't that difficult. So yeah, I'll do the rest of them later. Let me just hold them up. See, that does look a lot better, doesn't it? It just ages it. It makes it look more like a vintage postcard. So, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you will put together your own travel art journal, junk journal kit. And until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.